Hey guys, welcome back here to today's episode of The Fishing Teacher, and appreciate you guys swinging by the channel. And guys, today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite big bass lures anytime the water temperature's in the 40s or 50s, and that's a big old school 3/4 ounce rattle trap. Rattle traps come in quite a few different sizes, 1/4 ounce, 1/2 ounce, the 3/4. They even make a 1 ounce size. But guys, this 3/4 ounce rattle trap here has accounted for so many quality fish for me. I want to sort of go over in today's video the situations and conditions it works in, because if you've never fished one before, guys, you're missing out. It is an incredibly big bass catcher and it's extremely versatile. So we're going to get into that in today's video. And also, guys, I'll put my Rattletrap link in the description of this video and my Tackle Warehouse link if you guys would like to pick up some 3/4 ounce ones. Using my links is a good way to support the channel there. And also, real quick, guys, anybody interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me, jerkbait fishing's on fire right now in the Ozarks here. If you guys want to get an on-the-water jerkbait lesson, just shoot me a private message at my Facebook page, Randy Blaukat Professional Angler, for details. So appreciate that. Okay, guys, 3/4 ounce rattle trap. Look at this one right here, this chrome and blue. I'll tell you how far this goes back. The second Bassmaster tournament I ever fished in my life, I drew out Tommy Martin. Tommy Martin's a former Bassmaster Classic winner. He was a superstar in the sport for many years, qualified for tons of classics. And Tommy, I drew him out the first day of that tournament at Sam Rayburn. He eventually finished second place in that tournament. And the first time I ever saw anybody fishing a 3/4 ounce rattle trap, Tommy was fishing one. This was 1986 at Sam Rayburn Lake, fishing it over the submerged grass there. And I saw him catch some really quality fish on it. And I sort of thought it was relegated to grass fishing, which it is a great grass bait, but it was only when I actually drew an angler out. This has been quite a few years ago, probably 30 years ago. I drew an angler out in the Bassmaster tournament at Lake of the Ozarks. And prior to that, I didn't know anything about fishing a rattle trap shallow. And he pulled out a rattle trap and started fishing it just around shoreline cover, like lay down trees. He'd throw it next to a lay down tree, he'd throw it next to a boat dock, he'd throw it next to a stump in the water, just fishing it just the same like you would a spinnerbait or a square bill crankbait or something. And he caught like 18 pounds that day. So ever since then, 30 years ago, guys, this has been a staple for me, this 3/4 ounce rattle trap, primarily over traditional bass fishing type structures like rocky banks, wood, docks, that type of stuff. I'm not talking about, it's obvious application over grass. I'm talking about shallow cover. So that's what I want to talk about here, because most people don't have grass in their lakes, and you can utilize this 3/4 ounce rattle trap to catch some big fish, especially in the pre-spawn. For me, there's a water temperature window for the 3/4 ounce rattle trap, and it's 45 to 55 degrees. That is it. And it's usually in the springtime. It's usually anywhere between late February to early April, depending upon what part of the country you're in. And if you get those situations where that water temperature is 45 to 55 degrees, and then you have a combination of water visibility of 1 to 2 feet, this is critical. The water visibility in correlation with that water temperature is critical for them to bite this thing. 1 to 2 foot visibility, pre-spawn conditions, 45 to 55, that is when you want to throw this rattle trap. That's when those fish are positioned around those type of structures to catch them. And I fish whatever cover is available. I've caught them on riprap banks, rocky banks, flat gravelly type banks, around any type of cover in the water, wood, rock, boat docks. It could be the edge of a lily pad field, anything like that. It's just an incredible bait for fishing shallow water in the pre-spawn. Now, most of the time I'm fishing it on some pretty heavy line. I'll use 17 to 20 pound test Seagarn Vizex line most of the time, some type of a 7-foot medium action bait cast rod. And most of the time I'm making short casts with it. It's like, my favorite way to fish it, guys, is around some type of wood cover, a log in the water, a tree in the water. I'll just make a short cast with that thing and just sort of slow roll it. Just, slow roll it. You're not fishing it fast like a traditional rattle trap. You're just sort of slow rolling it like that. And if the water temperature is in the 40s, say 45 to 50, one of my favorite ways to catch them on the 3/4 is to get on some type of rocky bank. It could be a flat rocky bank, it could be riprap, whatever, any type of rocky bank. Cast the rattle trap into about 2 to 3 feet of water and let it hit the bottom. And then just start slow rolling it along the bottom. Just try to keep it a couple of inches off the bottom. Sometimes I'll let it hit the bottom and I'll crank it 5 or 6 times and it'll maybe come up 5 or 6 inches. let it go back down, hit the bottom, and just keeping it coming up like that. And surprisingly, you don't get hung up very much unless there's some wood or something or a tree underwater. But I've caught some really quality fish doing that. Conditions, it always usually works better if there's a little bit of wind and low light conditions. You don't have to have it. But guys, this is one of my favorite baits, man. I've caught so many good ones, and I use all different colors. I use dirty water, I'll use some type of a chartreuse, you know, just your average clarity, some type of a chrome blue. Crawdad patterns are good, you know, if the water temperature's in the 50s, they all work. I've caught them on all of them. So anyway, guys, give it a try. I think it's going to help you catch some good fish. We'll talk later.